As the infrastructure which has supported Australia's oil and gas industry nears the end of its life, consideration is being given how to best decommission these facilities. To help inform the discussion between all stakeholders about whether to leave the infrastructure in the offshore environment or to remove it, the NDRI, the National Decommissioning Research Initiative, commissioned Curtin University to enhance the understanding of the risks of naturally occurring radioactive materials, or NORMs, and mercury to the marine environment from oil and gas infrastructure under various decommissioning scenarios.
Oil and gas pipelines transport hydrocarbon fluids, and these hydrocarbon fluids can contain contaminants. Curtin University and the University of Aberdeen have been focused on two primary contaminants. These are NORM, and they are of significance because they emit radiation, and the second contaminant is mercury, and it is potentially poisonous and can bioaccumulate in the environment. So the focus of this research project is trying to understand the impact and risk of NORM and mercury on oil and gas infrastructure associated with decommissioning decisions. The research is important at the moment because there is a lot of infrastructure offshore Australia, and so operators are making decisions around whether they remove or leave in place. Fundamental to those decisions are the potential impacts that you may have on the environment as a result of leaving that infrastructure in place.
So I'm an ecotoxicologist and environmental chemist, which means I look at the impacts of contaminants in the environment. And it's the science that really understands what is out there, how it moves around, so its mobility and bioavailability, and also the science that derives guidelines that industry can use to ensure that they're protecting the environment and operating sustainably. So what I'm trying to do with the research that we've done is convert it into usable guidelines that industry can use to assess the types of contaminants that they've got in their actual infrastructure.
We conducted the research by doing an extensive literature review to look at the likely mercury forms to be associated with petroleum pipelines, as well as looking at the exposure pathways that are likely to impact the marine environment. Our research found that parameters that most likely influence the risk of methylation for mercury include the sediment organic carbon content and grain size, as well as the dissolved oxygen concentration, among others. However, these parameters change in the marine environment, so it is important to assess them along each decommissioned pipeline.